Hi, welcome to episode 24 of the StressKnits podcast. I'm Stacy. I'm StressKnits on Ravelry and Stacy Elston on Instagram. In Ravelry, you can search for StressKnits podcast and our group will pop up. There will also be a link in the down bar, and that's where you can find the show notes and the news for the new Knitalong and just some really awesome people. So I have a lot to talk about, and I'm just going to start off with just thank you. So one, thank you to all new viewers for checking me out, and thank you to all returning viewers. We are over 700 subscribers, which is, when I started this in January, I had no idea that even 10 people would watch this. So the fact that we are over 700 is absolutely ridiculous. There will be a thread in the Ravelry group where you have to be a member to enter, and there will be a thread that is going to be a giveaway. It is kind of a 700 member giveaway, but it's also just a gratitude to you guys giveaway. I will pick one random winner, and then they can choose any of the colors that I regularly dye for my shop, and I will send it out to you. So all of the info will be in the thread, and I'm just so grateful, which brings me to number 2. I cannot express how thankful, how happy, and just how awestruck I am by all of the love and support surrounding mine and Doug's venture into indie dyed yarn. We are completely sold out, which I can't even believe, the fact that we haven't even been open a week and there's nothing left in the shop. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, everybody that bought something, everybody that took a look in the shop, everybody that favorited anything, or anybody that said kind words, either in the Ravelry group here or on Instagram. I sat there and I cried when it was happening. I'm just amazed that you guys love what we're putting out. Yeah, so thank you. There will be another shop update soon. We are just waiting on another shipment of undyed yarn, and we are going to be bringing sparkle yarn into the shop, so I'm super excited. I love sparkly yarn. So that's super exciting. So stay tuned for that. If you want any news of the shop, just follow me on Instagram. The link will be in the down bar as well. And also, before we have a shop update, I will show yarn at the end of that episode whenever we're going to do that. So if people don't want to watch it, they don't have to. So yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you to the Hey Sister podcast for mentioning me on their podcast and saying super sweet words. I was cracking up, you guys, when they were talking about how we have somebody in common, and I totally creeped on Facebook because I had a feeling there were 3 people that I thought they might be friends with, and it was one of them. So I was cracking up because she is such a sweetheart. So I love that we have her in common. Yeah, so that's really cool. Somebody I used to work with when I was an RA. I worked with her for 2 years, so that was really cool. Yeah, so just thank you guys for mentioning me. Yeah, so I think with that, we are about 4 minutes in, so I'm going to let you know what's going to be in the show. So we have 2 finished objects, a hoe, some works in progress, 2 of which you've never seen before, and a little bit like a mini stash enhancement, but it's not going to be a segment because they're on projects. Spoiler alert, they're progress keepers. Yeah, so again, I am podcasting at Doug's apartment, soon to be my home, in January, because you guys, oh gosh, I feel like I'm just going to digress all episode. We have a venue. So we are going to be getting married January 7th of this upcoming year in downtown Detroit, and we're so excited because we love our city, and I'm so excited. Oh, also he drew these 4 drawings. They're line drawings, so everything is one line, which is really cool. But they're all some of our favorite buildings from downtown. Like, this is the Guardian building, it's Penobscot building, my favorite building, the old train station, which is, it's abandoned, but it's the most gorgeous piece of architecture ever. I love it. And then this is the Michigan 1 building, I think. Okay, so anyway, podcasting here because I really like the light in here with the color accuracy of my projects, as well as people said the audio is better. So we're just going to play it by ear and just podcast here when I can. Also, I am drinking a smoothie because I already had my coffee today. So put that out of shot. Alright, so finished objects. I have 2. The first finished object are my socks for the Knitalong with Jinx, who is Laura behind the Dyer's Notebook and Jinx Yarn. So this is the project that kind of kicked me in the butt to start dyeing. So these are, the theme is fantasy, so these are inspired by Sleeping Beauty. So it's just a gray with flashes of black, as well as speckles of green, like a true green, like a grass green, some pinks, and some blues. So yeah, I finished these. These are my first ever sport weight socks. I had about 10 grams left. I sent the rest of it in minis to 2 people that bought stuff for my shop because, yeah. Yeah, so these, I love them. They're super cozy. They're going to be amazing in Michigan winters. So I love them. I think I did something different. I think I added 2 stitches on this sock because, as you can see, there are 4 stitches in the 2x2 rib. So I think this one I knit a 52 or a 54, and then this was 2 stitches less. But they fit the same. It's not a big deal. I corrected it on the foot to have the same stitch count. And I did a rounded toe. So there's that. Yeah. Okay, so these are finished object number 1. I think that's pair 28 for my box of socks. I'm almost to 30. I'm really excited. Another finished object, another pair of socks. I actually, after I finished what I have to show you that are done, I went on a little bit of a different kick. I am definitely a sock knitter, but I don't know, I'm just on a different kick. I think I burned myself out on socks a little bit. I'm still knitting socks, but knitting other things. So these are my July socks. These are, I featured Jinx Yarn, who I mentioned just before with the other socks. Yeah, she is one of my favorite dyers of all time. I'm going to try to get a skein of her champagne and confetti colorway because I love her, and I'm so excited that she's been dyeing for 5 years. Like, that's amazing. Yeah, so this is her unsafe for swimming colorway on her strong sock base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, which is my favorite base in the entire world. I love it. And then the contrast heels and toes are Knit Pick Stroll in the Dogwood Heather colorway. Yeah, so it's just my basic vanilla sock, knit on a US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter. Just 2x2 ribbing, starting off with 64, decreasing down to 56, heel flap, gusset, normal, wedge toe. So yeah, I love them. I think that they're beautiful, and I've been obsessed with this colorway for a while, and I'm so glad I got a skein. So there are those. The next sock I'm kind of obsessed with, and now that my second order from Nomadic Yarns has shipped, it should be here by Friday, and I'm so excited. So I'll show you that next time I record for Stash Enhancement. I finished my first Molly Weasley sock. Sorry, this smoothie is so good. In case you're wondering. Pomegranate juice, blueberries, pineapple, and raspberries. It's magic. Love it so much. Okay, so yes, this is my Molly Weasley sock. I'm obsessed. I really am. And look at the toe. I love it. It's a purple toe. Yeah, so I was going to do contrast heels and toes, but because of where I needed to start decreasing, I didn't want the pink and the rouge to be that close. So I had enough. I measured it because I found my scale, which is super exciting. So I had enough to knit a second sock. So I just kept going with the toe, and I love it. I love the little purple guy. So yeah, again, standard sock, but I knit these on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, Addy Sock Rocket. Actually, both these, and these were knit on Addy Sock Rockets, and these were knit on Hiya Sharps, US 2s. I have no idea what that is in millimeter. Yeah, so I have not started the second one. I have a bag of socks I need to knit the second one. I need to knit the second one of this and the second pebble sock out of Gnome Acres before the Grocery Girl second sock of summer cow happens, because I love socks and it just makes me super happy. I'm going to be using this heel color, which is Rouge by Knit Picks. It's Stroll, which they discontinued this colorway. So I'm glad I got a skein of it before it was gone. But I will be using this color with my other socks because I got 2 more balls of Nomadic Yarns. I purchased the Dobby is a Free Elf colorway for myself, which is what I'll be using this, and then I got a skein of Trelawney for Doug. She loves it. So yeah, I'm super excited about these socks. I am obsessed. I really am. Okay, I'll put this down. So those are my socks. So 2.5 pairs, not too shabby. Okay, so I will show you the one thing that you've seen before, my Splendor Falls bag. Love this bag, you guys. I am up to the heel-ish on my Wool and Vine socks. So this is Wool and Vine yarns in the Pablo the Blowfish, which is a one-of-a-kind, unfortunately, because it's gorgeous. It's on her Blitz base, so it has gold Selena in it. I'm knitting these on my US 1.5 2.5 millimeter Knit Pro Zings with my Sucra miniature mac and cheese Parker's Keeper. So here they are. I did a 1x1 twisted rib for 20 rounds. I knit this. I might knit another inch on this, but it's so pretty. I love this color. It's coming out beautifully. Yeah, so that is the sock I'm working on right now. Sock number 1. And now for my new obsessions. So I'm on a little bit of a shawl kick. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted that I bought yarn for my Pure Joy from my local yarn store, which is in Plymouth, Michigan. It is Michigan Fine Yarns. So in my fat squirrel bag, I love this. It's a large wedge. Love it. I have my Pure Joy, and I started this a week ago. And I'm on the last wedge. Here, let me show you the right side. So here's my Pure Joy. It's almost done. I almost ran out of Modern Fair Isle, so I fudged the last few, like 50 stitches. Instead of doing the number for the short rows that she says to do, I increased it a bit so that I'd have a few grams. So that, because I only had about 25 grams when I had the 50 stitches left to knit in the short row, but these rows are long. Like, this is really long. Look at how wide. Okay, so it's like, it's super long. So all of this, and then having 50 stitches left, I was like, I'm uncomfortable. I only have about 9 grams left of Modern Fair Isle. Oh, I'll tell you what colors they are. So these are both Madeline Tosh Merino Light, in the Modern Fair Isle, which is the white speckled, and Panther. Ooh. And I was laughing because I was catching up with Kate from the, why is it not coming to me? Drink smoothie. Stitch Addiction podcast. Got it. And she is knitting a Pure Joy as well, but she got yarn for a second one, and she got the same color, so we're gonna have matching shawls, and it makes me so happy because I love Kate so much. She's a sweetheart. This is one of my stash enhancements. It is a Sucre miniature charm, progress keeper, and it's a French macaron. And I'm actually making these later with Doug and his sister, so I'm super excited. We're making the rose ones, which is what this is. So I love it. Yeah, so I just have to do the short row band of Panther, and I will be done. So, yeah, they're a little bit of a slog, but Doug and I are going on a small little road trip on Monday. We got tickets to go see 21 Pilots in Indianapolis because the Michigan shows sold out. So we're going to go stay with his brother and sister-in-law and his niece and go see 21 Pilots. So I'm super excited. I've never seen them in concert. They're one of my favorite bands. He's seen them once back in the day. Yeah. So I will just, I think this might be my card knitting, just to finish the last little bit. So I love this. It's gorgeous. This is by Joji Locatelli. It's the Pure Joy. I don't know if I said that. And I'm knitting this for the Grocery Girls Joji Along, because I love Joji Locatelli. She is a genius. So I have like 50,000 more things I want to knit by her. Shannon Cook, I think that's her name. She's so very Shannon on Instagram, posted a picture of some Quince & Company, and I asked her what colors they were, and it was egret, so the natural color, honey, and Belize, so it's like that mustardy yellow and a super beautiful blue. And I think those are the 3 colors I'm going to knit my 3-color cashmere cowl out of. The shawl is a little big for me for right now, but I've loved that cowl since it came out. So I think that's one of the things that will be on the docket to purchase. Sorry, I keep drinking my smoothie. It's just so good. So yeah, so that is living in my fat squirrel bag. I was going to work on this last night, but I dyed some yarn for myself on a DK base, which I was thinking about putting in the shop, but I want a different DK base. This is a 75-25 living in my Fawn and the Fox tree print bag that I'm obsessed with. Yeah. So I cast on something that I've wanted to cast on for a little bit since it came out. It is the Color Field Shawl by Kemper Ray, and my wonderful friend Kayla gifted it to me. So Yeah, so I dyed up some yarn. So I dyed up my bell jar colorway. Here it is. I don't know if you can pick up some of the speckles, but so this is bell jar, and I created my kind of tonal gray. This is called Perfectly Adequate. Yeah, so it's just a tonal gray, and I don't know if you can see, but there are some speckles of darker gray, because I love speckles. And I cast this on. So this is where I'm at. I've done 2 slip stitch sections. Yeah, and this is my other Sucre miniature that I purchased. It is the iced latte, but I think of it as iced coffee, because that's what I drink the most. I've been on a Starbucks double shot over ice kick. Whew, so much espresso. Okay. These I'm knitting on Hiya Sharp US 8s. What is the millimeter? Nope, not on that one. It is a 5mm. I think this is a 40-inch cord, so it's pretty large. I know that I'm notorious for hating Hiya Sharps, but I don't mind them when they get to the bigger sizes. Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you another little close-up. I'm just going to show you this way. So my bell jar colorway and Perfectly Adequate. I'm obsessed. I think it's super pretty. So this is the color field shawl. So that is all that is on my needles. At least all that I've been working on. I have some plans. I was incredibly lucky. I forgot to put the other skein of yarn in here. I was incredibly lucky. I was one of the first people to watch Kristen of Yarngasm and Volenvine Yarns latest episode, like pretty fast after she updated, or she posted it, and she was calling for test knitters for her new shawl, and I emailed her and told her I was super interested in doing that, so I will be test knitting, and well, she said that I could test knit, so I will be test knitting Kristen's new shawl pattern whenever she gets information to us. So that's coming up. I'm still looking for another skein of Jilted Rose on Blitzed by Kristen. It hasn't been in the last 2 updates, but I'm just kind of waiting. It might be on this one, and if it's not in this one, I'll message her and see when it's going to be next, because I really want to get my wedding shawl off the needles, which is the Sugar Plum by Mina Phillip. So yeah, I have 3 shawls on the go right now. I'm almost done with one, and then I have an upcoming shawl. I would like to knit on some of Doug's socks. So yeah, I want to do that. As far as Olympic knitting, so the Ravelry, I keep going back and forth between what I want to do, but I think I've settled on wanting to just crank out my Gable sweater. Gable is a beautiful bottom-up sweater by Hannah Fettig. I just need to knit the second sleeve, attach the sleeves to the body, and knit the yoke. So that is my goal for Ravelry. I'm super excited for the Olympics. I love watching the Olympics. I love Summer Olympics more than I love Winter Olympics, but I'm super excited. Yeah, so I already told you about the trip. Yeah. Oh, also, if anybody did not catch the shop update, like I said, there will be one in the next week or 2. We're just waiting on the shipment of the yarn. So if you are interested in that, just let me know what colors you are looking for, and we'll see what we can do. Again, thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. And Doug. We're super excited about it. So, with that, I think, I need to talk to you guys about the Just Knit It Cal. That's the other thing I needed to talk about. So this cowl is happening. It's gonna be super, super casual. Like no official start date. It's just gonna, well, you know what, let's do August 1st. Super easy, right? August 1st, and it will run to the end of September. So August and September, and yeah, so the guidelines of this are whips are allowed. Yes. You need, I don't know how to put this without sounding kind of rude. Vanilla socks are only going to be like counted in the cowl if it is a yarn that you are kind of reluctant to knit with because it's so beautiful. It's one of those yarns that you've had in your stash for a while and you've been kind of like hoarding it. Yeah, that's when vanilla socks will be like counted in this cowl, or if it's your first pair of socks. Okay, so there's that, but literally everything else counts. If you need to get a sweater off your needles, if you need a kick in the butt to try a new technique, if you just want to knit with a super special yarn, or a yarn that you've been hoarding because you don't know if you'll ever be able to get some more of that, so like cakewalk yarns or squirrel stash, or even like Volan Vine or Homespun House, yarns that are harder to get. Yeah, so it's just going to be really fun, super chill, and just a chatter thread. So, yeah, so it's going to be super chill, and I just want to get to know you guys better and for us to share projects and encourage each other to try new things. I will be casting on a squishy shawl. I think it's called La Molle. Remember, not much French. Okay. So, yeah, so I will be doing brioche for the first time. Super excited about that. And then also getting my gable sweater off the needles. That's what I will be doing for the next few months. And doing my test knit for Kristen. But yeah, so I'm really excited with that. I really hope you join in. Also, the Hey Sister podcast is having a hat knit along, which I will for sure be participating in because hats are my first love. That's what got me into knitting, and there are a few hats that I really want to knit. If you want to double dip, if they're even letting double dipping happen, which I'm sure they will, like things that you could try is like color work or cables or even brioche. Or if it's your first hat, like just something that you've always wanted to do, but there's something holding you back. We're going to be here for support because we have a wonderful group and community within my little section of the podcasting world. Yeah, so it's going to be super fun. I really hope you want to join. So with that, I am going to leave you, and I will hopefully be back next week with some shop update news and some finished objects via pure joy. So thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you like this to let me know that people like this. I feel like that's such an awkward thing to ask, but it'll also help you know when I upload a video. So yeah, alright, so